Alright guys, so in this episode we are going to be going over the colliders. This is going to be a little bit different from my regular tutorial because I didn't really know where to put this. I didn't want to make a new series. It doesn't go with the coding because I'm not doing any coding with this. So I'm just going to put this in our main game series. But it's going to be more of just a tutorial teaching you what the colliders are. It's really basic. I'm not going to do much. So I'm just going to make a 3D object. Make a capsule, since that makes the most sense. I'm gonna actually really quickly just rename this to enemy just so we know it's the enemy. I'm gonna remove this capsule collider for now. So now, if I just bring this to us, right here, as you can see, it has no colliders on it or anything. So, let's add one. Go add a component, and I have collider typed in here so I can show you all of them. There's a box collider, obviously. It just makes a box. So if something's square or you just want a regular box collider, which will make it simple to hit, that's what you'll use. You just make some sort of rectangle or box around it. It will automatically go around it to like the right size, but you can change it using the size right here. Of course, I want it to stay 111 for now. Let's do 2. There we go. Let's add another one. Capsule. Capsules for capsules, obviously. It's the same as a box collider, but for capsules, you can also change the size of it. Radius to 2. It works a little bit differently now. Of course, you have your radius because you're using a circle, so you have a radius. And then you have the height of it. And then you have which direction. So what we want going up and down, so we want the y-axis. But we could also have it just going side by side or other way side by side. But in this case, we want it to be a y-axis. And then, of course, we have the center of is a trigger. So basically what is trigger means, I should probably go over that if we're going over colliders. Is trigger means when you hit something or when you do something to this box. It's not always hitting. You hit E, you know, a key. It's going to be a trigger. So when you're having in your code, it's saying like on trigger, this happens. You need to make sure that knows that this is the capsule or this is the collider you're talking about. That's going to be the trigger. Because if you have multiple colliders like I have right now, and you say you only want the capsule to be a collider, or you only want the capsule, and let's say the box is only is 1, but it's moved up by 2 or 1, so it's up here. You don't want to hit the head of the guy. You want to hit the body. So say the body is the trigger, so your capsule would be what you want to hit. Anyway, let's move to the next one. The next one's a mesh collider. We're not going to go over the 2D colliders right now. We're only going over 3D colliders. Mesh collider. A mesh collider is a mesh, so it will go around any sort of weird shape or anything. But the problem with the mesh collider is, one, it has issues when you're using some sort of rigid body because there's no defined shape. It's a mesh, so it goes around everything. So rigid body doesn't work with it really well. And the trigger, you can't have it as a trigger because it's not defined generally. So yeah, it's something you'll use if you just want to be able to play or not to be able to walk on it, pretty much. You can't use it as a trigger. You can't use it with a rigid body, really. You can, it's a little bit glitchy though. And so yeah, this is something that you really aren't going to use too much. You'd rather be using other ones. And let's see, are there any other... Okay, so there's a sphere, which is pretty much the same as the capsule, but it's a sphere shape. But you can actually change that to be more of a... Actually, sorry, this you can't change. This is always going to be a sphere. But the capsule, you can kind of change to be a sphere. I would always honestly use the capsule unless you have a round ball. A terrain collider is for the terrain. We're not going to go over that right now. Wheel collider, we're not going to go over right now. So yeah, that's really all I want to go over, because those are the basics. Those are what I wanted to show you. The differences in them, really I just want to go over the mesh collider, because the mesh collider is a little bit confusing in the way it works. Because you really don't want to be using that, because it does not give you a defined space to actually use as a trigger. So I'd be using a box collider for walls, you know. I only really use mesh collider when I'm working with something like trees or something that you don't need to actually do anything with, but you don't want to walk around it, and you don't really want to make all those colliders, because all the tree isn't straight. It has, you know, all the branches. It has this the roots and stuff. So you're gonna use a mesh collider for that if you don't want it to do anything. If you want to chop it down though, you're gonna want a box collider on it, on the stem at least, or on the trunk, so you could actually, you know, attack it. But yeah, thanks for watching.